You probably think humans tamed the horse, roped it, broke it, bent it to our will. But the genetics say something closer to the reverse. A wild grass eater on the Eurasian steppe walked toward us. And we never really stopped needing it since. Picture the Pontic-Caspian steppe, roughly 4,000 years ago. Flat land stretching farther than a person could walk in a week. No trees to hide behind, no rivers close enough to rely on. Humans here lived exposed, slow, and vulnerable top speed, maybe 15 miles an hour in a dead sprint. A horse could hit close to 30. For most of human history, that speed gap was terrifying. Horses were prey, or predators' food, or just background animals thundering past. Then something shifted in a small population near the lower Volga and Don rivers, and within a few centuries, that speed became ours to borrow. Here's the wait what part. For decades, textbooks pointed to the Botai culture in Kazakhstan, around 5,500 years ago, as the birthplace of the domestic horsebit, wear on teeth, mare's milk residue baked into old pottery. All published by archaeologist Alan Outram's team in 2009. It looks settled. Then in 2021, a massive ancient DNA study led by geneticist Ludovic Orlando's group, published in Nature, sequenced over 270 ancient horse genomes and quietly overturned that story. The Botai horses weren't our ancestors' horses at all, they were an entirely different lineage, closer to today's wild Przewalski's horse. The actual domestic horse bloodline traces back to the Volga Don region, closer to 4,200 years ago, and then it did something no other domesticated animal had done before. It spread fast. Within a few hundred years, that single genetic lineage replaced almost every other horse population across Europe and Asia. Not gradually, the way domestication usually creeps this was closer to a takeover. One study estimated this lineage went from local to nearly continent-wide dominance in around 500 years, a blink in evolutionary time. Why would one bloodline outcompete every wild and semi-wild population it touched? The leading theory isn't really about the horse. It's about temperament. These horses appear to have carried mutations tied to calmer behavior and a stronger back, meaning they could be ridden without bucking a person straight into the dirt. In other words, the horses that let us stay on them are the horses that won. Once riding became possible, the deal changed everything. For us, not for them. Historian David Anthony has argued in his book, The Horse, the Wheel and Language, that mounted riding is what let Yamnaya pastoralists move herds people, and eventually language itself across thousands of miles of steppe, a mobility explosion that some linguists connect to the spread of Indo-European languages across a huge share of Eurasia. So here's the actual mechanism, and it's not folklore, it's neuroscience. Horses read human faces. A 2016 study out of the University of Sussex, led by Amy Smith, showed horses looking at photographs of angry versus happy human expressions had measurably higher heart rates and turned their heads to view the angry face with their left eye, the eye linked to processing threat in the right hemisphere of the brain. These animals were parsing our emotional state before we'd said a word. That's not a coincidence of biology, that's a 4,000-year filter. The calm horses survived contact with us because they could tolerate our unpredictability, and the humans who could read a horse's mood survived because a spooked, half-ton animal is a death sentence otherwise. Two species selected each other for emotional legibility, and neither one really had a choice once the partnership started. You feel the tail end of this every time you're near a horse, and it just knows your mood is off before your friends do. That's not magic. That's a nervous system tuned by millennia of two species reading each other's faces to survive the same open, dangerous ground. Somewhere right now, someone is standing in a stable, saying nothing, and a horse is deciding whether they're safe to be near. It has been asking that question about us for 4,000 years. We just started calling it ownership.